Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahawashi, Bahasham, Brakaha Kodash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video, and I'm going to start it off in Matthew chapter 24, and the header of the chapter reads, Sign of Hamashiach's return, because so-called Jesus Christ isn't the Messiah's true name. His true name is Yahawashi Hamashiach, and he doesn't look like a so-called white man or an Edomite with stringy brown hair. As pursuant to Revelation chapter 1, he has the appearance of a so-called dark-skinned Negro with a white woolly beard and afro. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, Yahawashi Hamashiach, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? The sign of thy second coming, and the end of the age of the rulership of the heathen nations. And while Yahawashi Hamashiach was talking to his disciples in the past, as it says in Romans chapter 15, everything written aforetime was written for our learning, Yahawashi was really speaking to his disciples today, because we are living in the times before his second coming and the times of the end of this current world, or age of the rulership of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites, or the so-called white people. And some of the signs to know that we're living in the times before his second coming and the times of the end of this current world or age is as it says in verse 7, For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And if you have that spiritual eye salve, you can clearly see that some of these end time signs are taking place as we speak or in the process of taking place. And in this video, I'll be dealing with the famines. This is a video from RT America's YouTube channel titled C19 Pandemic Fuels Global Hunger, United Nation, Those Famines. And hey, famines are going to touch this entire planet, and tens of millions of people are going to die off. And this is all ultimately the judgment of Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi on you people for all the wickedness you've been committing on this planet.
Portable TV, come watch with me. Now to a disturbing new report that says hundreds of millions of people around the world are facing famine or undernourishment as a result of increased conflict and the coronavirus pandemic. World leaders sounding the alarm, warning if something isn't done, millions more will follow. Trinity Chavez has those details.
And nothing can be done because, again, this is ultimately through the will of Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi.
The United Nations announcing this week that global hunger jumped dramatically in 2020, due in large part to the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on the cost of and access to food.
In terms of the figures, this year, in 2020, we found that 720 to 811 million people around the world face hunger in 2020. This number is approximately 118 million more people that were facing hunger in 2020 with respect to 2019.
A report published jointly by 5 UN agencies said hunger outpaced population growth in 2020, with more than 9% of all people estimated to be undernourished.
We also seen an increase to 9.1% of the population being undernourished today.
Children also paying a high price. According to the report, more than 149 million children under the age of 5 years old are stunted or too short for their age, more than 45 million wasted or weak or too thin for their height, and nearly 39 million are overweight.
Globally, nearly 1 in 3 people in the world, 2.4 million people, did not have access to adequate food in 2020. and that is an increase of nearly 320 million people in 1 year.
Africa facing the sharpest rise in hunger, where 21% of the population, 282 million, are estimated to be undernourished. That's more than double any other region. In Ethiopia's Tigray region, tens of thousands of children are at risk of malnutrition as aid continues to struggle to get to the war-torn area.
Operationally, on the ground, the challenges we have faced have to do with the lack of access, and sometimes this is very dynamic. It is fluid, it's shifting day by day. You could cross a checkpoint, a military checkpoint today, and that's fine. You go back tomorrow, they will not allow you to go through.
And in Mozambique, Islamic extremists are trying to take over the oil and gas-rich province of Cabo Delgado, which is now contributing to the rapidly escalating humanitarian crisis and triggering a potential hunger emergency in the region. The violence being blamed for more than 2,000 deaths, and more than 700,000 people have been forced to flee their homes.
They started shooting and attacking the village. At that moment, this baby was sleeping in the house. I went inside the house to take the baby, and they came in. When I picked up the baby, they shouted, "Hey, stop, we will kill you. Stop, we will kill you." I begged. I said, "No, please don't kill us." I was already carrying the baby. He was naked, no clothes, nothing at all.
Asia also hit hard. According to the report, more than half the undernourished people, some 418 million, live in Asia, while 60 million live in Latin America and the Caribbean.
The UN is also concerned that this will take the world further off course in reaching the goal of eliminating hunger and malnutrition by 2030 and warns that 660 million people may still face hunger by that target date. Reporting in New York, Trinity Chavez, RT.
Hell, tens of millions of people dying from hunger, looking like hundreds of millions of people dying off from hunger. But again, this is all through the will of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. We truly are living in the times before his second coming and the end of this current world or age of the rulership of the heathen nations, before the ushering in of the kingdom of heaven, where the children of Israel, who are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, are going to rule for eternity. Here's another clip. Food shortage riots in Nigeria. Hey, it's getting up there.
This is a palliative they promised they are bringing. This is Plateau State Jos. Today's date is 24th of October. This is what is happening in Jos City. This is what is happening in Jos City.
All these people attacking a depot to get food.
This is Jos City. You can see the masses. Everybody wants to get food to eat. What a government! What a government! Look how people are struggling. People are struggling to have food. Look at people. Look at, okay, let's look at the hold up. Just take a look at the hold up of Plateau State today. No way entrance. No way out. Look at the hold up. Okay, let's look at the outside. If you're trying to go out from Jos City, can you see the hold up? Can you see the cars?
And while that video from RT in this clip shows food insecurity in places like Africa, Asia, and Latin America, best believe it's going to come to these European Edomite countries as well as the United States of America. Look what's going on over right here in the United States of America right now. A mega drought in the western half of the U.S., which has led to a water shortage, which has led to a lot of farmers having to destroy certain crops because they don't have enough water to take care of all their crops, which is going to lead to food shortages. And then also on top of that, you've got the elites who are going to manufacture a food shortage in this country to get people to bend to their every whims to go along with their agenda for their NW0, which is ultimately taking the MOB, the MICROCHIP RFID/NFC IMPLANT. Let's get back into some precepts. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 16, verse 22. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So to these people during the times of Jacob's trouble that escaped the famine, if you're not of that elect number of the nation of Israel, you're going to run into some other calamity, get taken out in a race war, which race wars are coming, getting killed in civil wars, getting killed by one of these pestilences or viruses that's going to be out here, getting killed during a state of martial law, getting thrown into a concentration camp and tortured, or ultimately getting taken out by one of those nuclear missiles, when nuclear missiles are going to be shot to the ends of the earth during World War III, which is coming as well, as it says in Revelation chapter 9, verse 12, one woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. Verse 23, and the dead shall be cast out as dung or shit, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. And as it says in Jeremiah chapter 25, the slain of the Lord shall be from one end of the earth unto the other, and they shall be as dung upon the ground. There's going to be so much death, destruction, and misery in that day that you're going to become numb to all the dead bodies you're going to see laying around, and not give a second thought to them, like you don't give a second thought to that turd that you flush down the toilet. And like I've been saying through the video, it's all through the will of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai to punish you people for all the wickedness you've been committing on this planet. I'm going to jump up to verse 18. I'll read verse 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Hey, to you Akim out there, right now you should be doing everything you can to stay in the good graces of your power, Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, so you can hope to be of that elect number and have that protective hedge over you to be saved from these calamities of Jacob's trouble. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. All the judgments of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, again on you people who have been committing wickedness on this planet. So that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim are edified. Just keep strong and keep pushing this word. We're almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.